Hi, this is April. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to take a few minutes today to highlight some of my favorite conservative voices on YouTube. These are in no particular order, but first up is Dennis Prager. I've been listening to his radio show for well over 10 years. He's been warning about socialism taking over the country, starting with the universities, for many, many years. He studied Russian in college, and he went over to the Soviet Union and helped to get out many of the names of Jewish citizens that wished to leave communist Russia because of the deplorable conditions over there. He founded Prager U, which produces these little quick 5-minute videos which teach a lot of moral values that are no longer taught in schools. And he also warns against socialism and explains our system of capitalism. But these are little jewels.
In the contemporary world, it's taken as a given that capitalism, with its free market and profit motive, is based on selfishness and produces selfishness, while socialism is based on selflessness and produces selflessness. Well, the opposite is true. Whatever its intentions, socialism produces far more selfish individuals and a far more selfish society than a free market economy does. And once this widespread selfishness catches on, it is almost impossible to undo it. So instead of thank you, the citizen of the welfare state is taught to say, what more am I entitled to? Yet the left insists that it's capitalism and the free market, not socialism, that produces selfish people. But the truth is that capitalism and the free market produce much less selfish people. Teaching people to work hard and take care of themselves and others, and that they should earn what they receive, produces less selfish, not more selfish people. Capitalism teaches people to work more. Socialism teaches people to demand more. Which attitude do you think will make a better society?
Okay, so next we have the Conservative Twins channel, Kevin and Keith Hodge. They're identical twins that I have been watching since they did bodybuilding videos. Very easy on the eye. Their humor is a little bit colorful, but I like it. It makes me laugh every day. I get a quick little dose of humor from a conservative perspective. I'll just show you a quick little clip of their take on critical race theory.
Hey man, you remember what we learned in school? Yeah, I remember. We learned those ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Man, that was good old days. Those some damn good days. Well, guess what? My boy came home the other day, and guess what they're teaching him? It's not the ABCs or the 1, 2, 3s, man. Well, what the hell are they teaching? He said his teacher told him that it's gonna be hard for him to be successful in life because he's black. You know what they sound like they teaching him? Yeah, man. That's CRT. Critical race theory. Well, I've heard of that bullshit. The white man keep my black ass down, huh? Imagine being so woke, you send your kids to school so they can teach them how dumb and black they are. Trump said it best, everything woke turns to shit. Yeah, according to these idiots, racism against black people is wrong, but it's just fine against white people. I'm pretty sure all racism is bad, right? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. You know what this is creating, right? Well, it definitely ain't creating unity. It's creating division and hate. A whole bunch of it. That shit's messed up. Yeah, it's not right, man. CRT is actually creating racism. It teaches our kids to judge each other based on their skin. Yeah. That's wrong. Exactly, man. You could just imagine how messed up we'd have been if they'd have taught us critical race theory growing up. Yeah, man. You and I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. If we were taught the system is designed for only white success, we wouldn't even try it. We believe the system was out to get us, we'd have just gave up. And you wanna know what's crazy? The fact that most parents don't even know this is going on. Yeah, it's time that we as parents take matters into our own hands.
So the next channel is the Liberal Hivemind. This guy was a former liberal turned conservative, and he shines a light on the hypocrisy of the left. And his thumbnails on his videos always draw me in when I see them on my homepage.
Well, things just got extra scary for Democrats. That might make my 230 to 240 House prediction, well, seem a little bit conservative. New poll shows dire outlook for Democrats, the best midterm projection for Republicans, in 40 years. Folks, 40 years, 4 decades, basically since the 1980s. The poll discovered that among registered voters in the United States, the current preference is Republican over Democrat by a whopping 10 points, 51 to 41%. ABC News explained the significance of the finding. That is the biggest lead for Republicans in the 110 ABC/Post poll that's asked this question since November 1981. Indeed, it's only the second time the GOP has held a statistically significant advantage. The other was +7 in January 2002, and the 9th time it's held any numerical edge at all. This is what we've been covering forever, folks. When Republicans are -10 in generic congressional polling data, it generally means the election's going to be relatively close. Democrats might win by a little bit. When it's within the margin of error, Republicans get a blowout. And when Republicans are up 10 points, up 7 points, up 8 points, like in some of the polls that we've covered, we are talking about an unprecedented shift in political momentum. We are talking about the end of Nancy Pelosi's career, period. And it's not just there, folks. It continues to get bad for the Democrats. Donald Trump now leads Joe Biden by 11 points in Iowa. Trump's poll numbers indicate an increase in support from his 8-point victory in Iowa over Biden in the 2020 election. Trump carried Iowa with 53% compared to Biden's 45%. According to the Des Moines Register, Trump's 2024 lead among likely Iowa voters appears to be driven by support among independents.
The next channel I wanted to highlight is ABL, Anthony Brian Logan. I discovered him on Brandon Tatum's live stream, and I really do enjoy his no-nonsense analysis on the news stories. And he sticks straight to the facts, and he gives a really interesting perspective, especially on some of the stories that involve racial tension in the nation.
And today, we got to talk about President Joe Biden going for a quote-unquote routine colonoscopy at Walter Reed, and Kamala Harris becoming the acting president while that's happening. Biden has to have anesthesia, has to get put to sleep while I do a colonoscopy. So while he's not able to be the president, he's not able to be up and aware, then the powers of the president go to Kamala Harris. I think the point is something could be seriously wrong here. So for the time being, they have appointed Kamala Harris the president until everything goes smooth with the colonoscopy. They wake him up and everything's all right. But things might not be all right. Let's go back to a few days, weeks ago, whenever that was, when he went to the Vatican. Do you remember the rumors that were spreading all over the place? And no pun intended here, please pardon me. He allegedly had a quote-unquote bathroom accident at the Vatican. And without being too graphic, they said he doo-doo on himself at the Vatican. Now, if you're having a colonoscopy, it's a short period of time after a so-called bathroom accident at the Vatican, then what's going on? I think they know something's wrong with this man. He's probably had more accidents around the White House or whatever, and nobody's saying nothing. But they can't keep it quiet now because they're going to see him going to the hospital. If he's in Walter Reed, somebody's going to say something. If this procedure, quote-unquote routine procedure, does not go well, and Biden has to be removed from office for whatever the case may be, and Kamala Harris then becomes president, then who becomes vice president? Okay, how are we going to appoint them? Who is that going to be, right? They may have gotten some very grave news about the president and his health condition that we don't know about quite yet.
So next up is Brandon Tatum's channel called The Officer Tatum. I've been watching this channel since before the last election. I have always liked his perspective on issues as a former police officer. He gives you just the straight facts in a case, takes the mob mentality and the emotion out of it, and gives you the laws of that particular state and whether a person is allowed to defend themselves or not. I also love his live streams where he has a couple of guests on and they discuss many of the issues that are involving our country as far as race goes and how we can't let the left divide us as a nation.
Let's get into Kyle Riddinghouse. So let's start with just a quick synopsis of Kyle Riddinghouse. 17-year-old kid from Illinois, came over to Kenosha to help defend businesses from looters, rioters, and arsonists who were burning down everything. Antifa, BLM combined, he came over to help protect businesses. constitutional right to stand up for your own property, personal property, and safety. People have that right in this country. Sometimes they forget that. Let's go through the law, because there's a lot of people that are like, Kyle Rittenhouse is an example of white privilege. Let's go to the law. We'll go to the law, and I'm going to show you evidence in the video. This is a self-defense law in Wisconsin. It says the actor may not intentionally use force, which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm, unless the actor reasonably believes that such force is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm to himself or herself, right? You can't use deadly force against people in a self-defense argument unless a reasonable belief, reasonable, it don't have to be 100% it's reasonable, a reasonable person would believe that their life could be in danger, or they can suffer serious bodily injury. But I believe that this kid was justified in a self-defense claim. Should he have had the rifle? I haven't looked up the law of being 17. You have to be 18 years old to carry a rifle, and you have to be 21 to carry a handgun. He has a rifle. He was there with good intentions to protect property and life. Fair enough. That's the American dream. And technically by self-defense law, he don't have a duty to retreat. People that are out here acting like this is white supremacy and the kid, he just murdered 3 people and he off. No, he didn't. Go look at the video. You will see that the kid was acting in self-defense. This is the clearest self-defense I've been seen in a long time. You can't get no clearer according to the law.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this little rundown of some of my favorite conservative voices on YouTube, and I hope you consider checking out their channels. That's all I have for today. If you like this video, give me a like, consider subscribing, and have a wonderful day. God bless America.